Okay, I have my special guest for today, RasMorgan. Let's check if he is there. RasMorgan, are you there?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. So honoured, so happy to have you on the show. And
yes,
it's
a pleasure of mine.
Oh,
Right?
bless you. Thank you so much. I've got a few questions to ask you, RasMorgan, but before we go there, can you tell the listening audience a little bit about your background?
Okay, greetings to all you, where we speaking to UK? Are you doing?
Yes, we are.
UK? Yes, thanks for having RasMorgan, sharing your time, your private time, your moment in time. And yes, we're here, we're just gonna reason and talk and try to paint a picture of what the life and the journey has been. And then we just gradually take it from there. But originally, from a place which is well familiar to ones, which is called Kingston, Jamaica. Yes, that name is a brand, a trademark in the earth. But however, before all of that, one step back by including how RasMorgan started, meaning the mom and the dad, the parents. That's the real foundation of creation in sort of sense. So my father now is he was from the parish called St. Elizabeth. Yes, that's in the south part of Jamaica. St. Elizabeth is known to be the food basket. It produced the most food to serve the country, the island, And there's a neighboring parish which is called Manchester. So that's where my mom was from. She was from Manchester, and the dad was from St. Elizabeth. So however, they intercept, and came to Kingston now to try to make a life for themselves, to make a big push. And at that point, by the mid, I would say 70s, they had 6 child, in Kingston City. And things was on the way, and it's going on, but they weren't done. They weren't done because there was still more. There was still something else to be delivered or explored. So anyway, my mom, after 6 pregnancy with 6 child, she got pregnant again for the 7th time. Yes. So the 7th time now, she had twins. So now it jumped from 6 to 8. So 7th pregnancy, 8 child. And that was a good run, but she still wasn't done there. She went again, 8th pregnancy now, but this time she brought the 9th child, as if she was searching for something, but that's what I asked her. And the 9th child, that was me. That was RasMorgan. So I felt like I came about from a search from you. Yeah, you're pushing to find, to bring one more aboard. Don't close the door yet. So that at that point they call me lucky number 9, because there's the number 9 child. He's there. And so from that point on, I could say I had a good, comfortable, cared for journey, as in being the youngest child. Everyone care for you. You're always receiving. They make sure that you're in good standing. So you always get, as I said, something that is presented for you, and life kind of keep me on that path where, I don't really go through life worrying about what the next step is. It's kind of somewhat, prepared for you in a sense. That was how you were created to begin with. So so the journey started there, and then in Kingston, Jamaica, 9 child to grow, and it was a journey from that point on. But it was interesting, educated, it was fun. I had a lot of siblings around me. As I said, I was the youngest. I had niece and nephew, so it was vibrant. The whole atmosphere was vibrant in Jamaica in the 80s as a child growing up. And that's where most of my brought up, see, the root of my life, the heritage, the knowledge took place. And then at the age 17 now, when you're in high school, you're at the peak of your thing, you're 17. That is where my mom, the monarchy, she was leaving to migrate to Canada. Wow. So that was the next big thing, mom leaving to go overseas. And I kind of absorbed the reality that, okay, my mom is going to leave me. I'm going to be there on the island. I'm going to be receiving this, receiving that. Everything was all planned out. So she went to the Canadian embassy to do our filing, her paperwork. It was my older sister who was in Canada, filed in for her mom. So, the older sister doing the paperwork. My mom came home one day and she said, she had this look on her face and she said, the immigration officer says, you have to come with me. So I said, come. How did I come into this? I'm okay with the island. I'm fine. I'm in my prime, but the Canadian immigration standard are the thing where if you have a child underneath the age of 18, that child is automatically could go with the mom or dad. So that means, so compulsory again, I got a mixed ride. So this was the whole dynamics changed now. My head had to be say, okay, I'm going to North America. I'm going to Canada. That wasn't in my thing. It was my mom is gone. And I'm gonna have free time for myself. It was all planned out. So that was a big shift. So that's when a different phase, like I walk in a different bubble at age 18, 17, 18, entering North America, entering Canada, Toronto City. And that's basically where I've been since then time, going back and forth, keeping the roots, keeping the energy, keeping the heritage. And it's just been a journey, as I said, but my energy in which I travel on is like whatever is there for me is prepared for me. I never really try to dig or find too much. It's prepared. And once I receive it, then that's when I exploit it and use it and explore it and go more into it. So that is how I end up being in Canada as a teenager. It was wonderful. I was at my peak. I could do anything. Schooling was there. It was just like a big boost to my life to step in this bubble. And the music was always there. The music was always there. And, we just keep that root, that heritage that Jamaican brought up to.
Sorry, RasMorgan. Sorry, I don't know what happened there, but you've just gone a bit lower.
Yes.
I don't know what happened.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're back. Yeah, right. You're back.
Yes. Yes, man. So the music was always there. It was always there in the culture and the brought ups in the school and growing up in Jamaica. It's the heritage for you to have a concert and to sing a lot in school. So everyone was always engaged with the music. So migrating to Canada now, that was what I had as my asset, as my tool, as my weapon was music. So you kind of continue with that, format in which you were brought up with, you have within you. Mm-hmm. And the music, it's a heart within itself. That's why they call the artist an artist, because it's an art when you realize you can take words and you could express yourself and you could line up these words in a vocabulary format for someone to either dance to it, sing to it, cry to it, so they feel something based on what you're saying. And it's an art form which you kind of realize you could do well and you could get your message across. So I kind of let music be my umbrella for transporting the message, sharing my good vibes, talking to ones in faraway places. And then that's it. The rest is just history. Then created an EP. So that is what we're going to really feature today. I created an EP Around, I think, 2 years ago. Yes, 2 years ago, that was the first EP, which it just consists of 4 tracks, and just to give the public a feel of what RasMorgan music is about and all about. And then, there's a lot more in the makings, because that was like early in the beginning. So there's a lot more to keep one intrigued and interested. And we're just going to touch on a few of those points, based on the time that we have allowed to do so.
Okay, so RasMorgan, you've given us some insight into your background there, which was very, very insightful. And what we do want to do now is, as you just mentioned, your music. So we're going to look at and play some of your tracks. African Girl. Can you talk to us about how African Girl came about? What's behind that song?
Yes, with African Girl, at the point I wanted to just basically give credit, give recognition, give meaning to the Africans, the female African. It was a time when I think, do you remember when the certain schools in Africa was getting invaded and girls were being taken away? So I just felt like there was a pressure on the female African ladies, where I just wanted to stand up and say something, telling them that, listen, you work more than diamond, you work more than gold. That's the punchline in the song. I just wanted to know that you work something. You're just not just a hopeless voice out there going through this tribulation and nobody can stop or nobody can help. You have a value.
Yeah.
So I came across, was one of the first producers I was working with, One Stable Production. And they say, RasMorgan, I have this beat, but it's like a dancehall beat, and I know say you is like a roots rock, man. And I said, send the beat, come give me, man. But because he didn't want to send it because it's dancehall, and he knows RasMorgan is a roots rock. But when I heard that beat, it just all I could do is just speak to, is just to express what I was feeling about the African lady and the beat, and it turned out in a very creative way, where when I'm writing a song, if the beat is called up or the beat is called down, I try to put that word or that phrase in the song, if it's an upbeat or a downbeat. So in this sense, the beat was called Big Money Rhythm. So I'm like, okay, it's called Big Money Rhythm, but I need to talk about African ladies. How do I incorporate that? And I did an excellent job by speaking about financial, what I need to gain, and at the same time shining a recognition on African ladies, saying that you work more than diamond and you work more than gold. And this is African Girl by RasMorgan.
Wow.
Africa has been through a lot. Africans have been through a lot. This is RasMorgan again, on the Big Money Rhythm. Telling my African girls that you worked more than diamond and pearls. Read them up. Me a go big up on my African girls. Anytime me stand to the world, me a go big up on my African girls. Them are more than diamond and pearls. Me a go big up on my African girls. Anytime me stand to the world, me a go big up on my African girls. Them are more than diamond and pearls. A big money me a look right now. Me need to build a high rise. Me need a crane right now. Like a fire full of flame right now. Call me insurance, me need a claim right now. Feel like a picture in a frame right now. Like a getting up in a pad, me full of stain right now. Now make me start use my brain right now. Because some things in a life me should have claim right now. Me a go big up on my African girls. Anytime me stand to the world, me a go big up on my African girls. Them are more than diamond and pearls. Me a go big up on my African girls. Anytime me stand to the world, me a go big up on my African girls. Them are more than diamond and pearls. Serious thing me attack right now. Me want to open up the ears, me want your ear right now. 500 years a slave right now, and the queen say me have nothing for clean right now. Somebody please hold me back right now. Only my master can stop me from attack right now. That's why everywhere that me go, me have to tell my people say to rise right now. Me have to big up on my African girls. Anytime me stand to the world, me have to big up on my African girls. Them are more than diamond and pearls. Me have to big up on my African girls. Anytime me stand to the world, me have to big up on my African girls. Them worth more than diamond and pearls. Me have fans in Europe, me have fans from Cuba, but there is no greater fans like my fans in Africa. Big up my fans in Nigeria, big up my fans in Ghana. I can't wait the days to start to the west coast of Africa. Until me have a big up on my African girls. Anytime I stand to the world, me have a big up on my African girls. Them are more than diamond and pearls. Me have a big up on my African girls. Anytime I stand to the world, me have a big up on my African girls. Them are more than diamond and pearls. Yes, it's RasMorgan again, you know, saying.
Okay, that's RasMorgan, my special guest today. RasMorgan, yeah. African Girls, we like that.
That was released around 2017 and once into production. And yes, it's a nice vibe. It's well received in Ghana. Ghana like it. Big up to all of the Ghanaians. Yeah, it's well received in Ghana, Nigeria, Georgetown, Lagos. It's well received.
Yeah, that's it's really interesting as well. You know, I know when we talked earlier on, you talked about your, you know, a really good following in Africa, where reggae music is concerned, and that's really nice to hear that.
Yes.
Really,
yes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's well, as you know, the Africans, they are very well receiving of Jamaican culture. Rasta culture, reggae music culture. So it wasn't very hard for my music to grab a foothold in Africa. Mm-hmm. And basically, if you're speaking of something which you mentioned, Mama Africa, you mentioned something they could relate to. Mm-hmm. Yes. And remember, you know, Bob rocked the whole African continent.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
You know. Because I watched a video when they were singing Zimbabwe in the stadium, and it was when you find that thousands of people just singing and stamping their feet. It was a movement. Mm-hmm. So they have that within them. I remember that it was the reggae music that kind of gave them that 1-2 beat out. And then I, being an African away from Africa, my soul and my spirit is just kind of pushing in that direction. So it was just like a natural mystic for me to sing song, speaking of a place in which I have never ventured or been. But within myself, I have walked the land 1,000 times. So, you know, it's mystical for me. You know, it's like you're getting a vibration you're going with by speaking of something, you know, something in which you have never experienced, but you feel because it's there.
Yeah, but I've often heard people say that when they go to Africa, it's just a different vibe from any other continent that they've been to. Yeah,
it's a journey, so it's natural. It's just natural, you know. But give thanks to Conscious Radio, you know. Yes, I want to give thanks.
Thank you, and we're so honoured. We're so happy to have you
for the platform. As I said, for me to have my opinion and speak my piece, and speaking to the wider population, the wider world.
Oh, blessings. And we're going to talk about the next track, Rise Again. Talk to us about that, please, RasMorgan.
Rise Again. That's basically one of my favorite, as in, if it was again written for my African population, for my African who's home and abroad. Mm-hmm. And basically, as the punchline, as the chorus says, it says "Rise Again." And when I'm making my speech and I'm talking to ones, I always tell them, don't underestimate that word, the way it's put together. Rise again. Again is a word that represent something that has been done before.
Yes.
So if it's done before, that means you can do it again. So there shouldn't be any intimidation or doubt about where it can be done.
Yes.
So I felt like Rise Again was a song that could travel the earth just to motivate, motivate my race, my people in general, just to rise again. So I created that song, and it was a joy doing that one. It was one of those songs that I played the instrumental, and I was just singing on the instrumental without writing anything. We were just singing. It was natural within you. And basically, it felt like I was in a stadium talking to massive of people. That is how I wrote the song. The song is like, it's not a song where you're gonna do boogie woogie when you hear it. It's not a boogie song. It's a song that you will listen to what's been said and try to formulate whatever you grab from those words. And as I said, I being in Jamaica, I should let you know, Jamaica was we were taught proper English from the British.
Right.
So our vocabulary in Jamaica, we could formulate a sentence. You could use English language in a way where it's well received, it's understood. We have that ability, even though we speak the patois, a Jamaican can put a sentence together. So my challenge with the music is to speak in a way that it can be understood and don't seems like, what is he saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so that is all I think maybe I kind of master my craft, where I'm singing, I'm talking, I'm speaking, but it's just a flow of English language and telling a story, and that's Rise Again. And I'll give them a listen to the song, and then see if they could see the motivation message in which I'm trying to deliver within that song.
This is RasMorgan again, telling my African race to make this. This is what I have to say. No more will I be weak and not know the strength within my knees. And no more will I stand short and not stand tall to play my part. No more will I not know the truth in life despite all the lies. And no more will I not eat the food they make in microspeed. My people, we are down for too long, so look for that light, it shines so bright. My mother always say, when a happening a year can happen in just one day light. So get up, stand up, my people, we have done it before. Come and we rise again. Come and we rise again. Get up, stand up, my people, we have done it before. Come and we rise again. Stand tall again. Cause all I can see is pain. And all I can see is pain. All I have learned from life is look to the east, the west, have no more to teach. Africa. Some of the greatest man in life was born in the west under distress. Like Marcus Mosiah Garvey, he did his best, he passed all their tests. But everybody know in a life when only one man a fight is like he has no might. So let's take a page from history and analyze, my friends, some African stories. Like all those great kings and queens that rise from the dust to attain their glory. So get up, stand up, my people, we have done it before. Come and we rise again. Come and we rise again. Get up, stand up, my people, we have done it before. Come and we rise again. Stand tall again. Cause all I can see is pain. And all I can see is pain. Love me and forgive them in the morning, in the evening. Me not go wait for no season. Me I can love in a bag and in a suitcase. Bring it from pain, me love to give it in a reason. It's a joy when me see the youths, them a try elevate themselves and a look to the farming. Mama send him go to school all him life and spend a heap of money, but the school never teach him. Now him done big man on the road and a see for himself and a feel all the burden. But nobody lose hope hope and lose faith, no bother get weak, or no bother come with no shame thing. So get up, stand up, my people, we have done it before. Come and we rise again. Come and we rise again. Get up, stand up, my people, we have done it before. Come and we rise again. Stand tall again. 'Cause all I can see is pain. And all I can see is pain. Watch it make me talk to my people. I need to have a word with my people. Watch it make me walk with my people. Now bother come around you, come agitate my people. 'Cause all I can see is pain. And all I can see is fame. 'Cause all I can see is pain. And all I can see is fame. So get up, stand up, my people, we have done it before. Come and we rise again. Come and we rise again. Get up, stand up, my people, we have done it before. Come and we rise again. Stand tall again. 'Cause all I can see is pain. And all I can see is pain.
Okay, you're locked into the Imani Speak Show here on Conscious Radio. And that's Rise Again by my special guest, RasMorgan, who is with us. RasMorgan.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
And it's a pleasure to have you on and your powerful words in your song.
Yes,
yeah.
That was Rise Again, and as I said, it's just a little bit for motivating, and as I said, it has its place and time, and eventually it will circulate the way it's supposed to, do what it's supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see, my writing scale is very poetic, everything is kind of somewhat, telling a story or going somewhere or leading you somewhere.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about stories, isn't it? It takes you on a journey, and you remember, because of the story has the sequences that you can follow along, and it works really well with the mind and the way the mind works.
It is. And that's what I love about spoken words. It's like I love, like, if you have 5 persons in a room and each person should explain a particular situation. I love to hear how would each person word it. What would you say? You're speaking of the same thing I am, but how would you line up your words, get your message across? And that is what art form of music is to me when I write, because there's no topic I am speaking about which haven't really speak about before, or no punchline or someone haven't really touched, but it's what I do with it when I mention it. It's what I do with it when I talk about the girl, just like the African girl. Mm-hmm. I felt like telling her that she's worth this and she's worth that, while the next person will tell her, say, hey, she needs to go in her head or she needs to go in her back. So it's what you do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's what I do with it when I get a chance to speak on a topic.
Yeah, I mean, conscious music, positive music, opening people up to higher levels of consciousness is very important. And, it's I know it's very important to you to put those types of messages in your songs.
Yeah, it is, because it's been the foundation of how you will grow as children. There's always older folks saying something, telling you to pull up this or pull up that or say this better. So there's always somebody keeping you conscious, balance. Mm-hmm. You grow that way. Yeah, you grow that way.
Right. What I'd like to do is for you to talk to us about Nah Stop Try. Nah Stop Try. If I said it right.
Yeah, that
Stop Try. Yeah. I know. If I said it like that, Nah Stop Try, I can say it like that.
Yeah, you got it.
I got it now. But saying it without the me, it's.
But as I said, that one, as it says, it's basically it's RasMorgan expressing myself, mm-hmm. telling you the reason why I am not stop trying, and telling you what motivates me to keep going.
Yeah.
And yes, so that is how that one came along, and I went basically in my cranium, in my brain. I pulled out a couple of vocabularies just to express, and it was one of those songs where I could have gone on and on and on and on and on and on. As long as the beat was still there, you could have just gone on and on like maybe for hours.
Wow.
So yeah, 'cause you were in a trance. You were in that trance where you were just finding things to say, and you're expressing.
Mm-hmm.
And when at the end, when I look at it, I was like, it's a nice little craft, you know. So that is Not Stop Try, and it's a motivating song, and I could even give them a little piece a cappella just to start it off, because I'm saying, no more will I be weak and not know the strength within my, you know. So it's
love that.
It's just the whole motivation of not stop trying and hanging on there and just keep that vibes going and never give up, and all of that whole positive aspect. I kind of put it on a little, I think 3 minutes, 4 minutes song, and I came up with that one, you know. So that's Not Stop Try, and then we could give them a listen to that one.
This is RasMorgan again, you know. Talking to all my hardworking people. This one is called Not Stop Trying. Ready up. I know we shall make it someday. Me not stop try if me have to work Sunday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not on a yard from the week touch Monday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not stop try if me have to work Sunday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not on a yard from the week touch Monday. Never give up in a life. See, I say I try, if you try, now worry about feel that not come cross me mind. As morning come, me love you open up me eyes. Me love to see the sun arise with light that shine bright. Me day look good and me future look right. And all me have to do is just make up my mind. We put one foot forward and then step straight inside. I remember one thing me learned from me mom. From your blessings start flow, you go be full like a dam. When me was a youth, me used to love eat a sham. Now me turn big man, me love dumpling I am. You have to put your health first before you execute your plan. That is one thing me learned from the conquering lion. Like a big ship on sea, RasMorgan just a glider. Like a big jumbo jet, me have the runway inside. That's why I know we shall make it someday. Me not stop try if me have to work Sunday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not on a yard from the week touch Monday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not stop try if me have to work Sunday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not on a yard from the week touch Monday. One thing me want them to know, from your step out in the life, you want to put on a show. You can't be too passive or else you not gonna grow. You have to be more aggressive and start your own show. Like the actor Bruce Lee, you have to kick like Dojo. Stand up to the evil, make it know it have to go. Where you ever see a lion get defeated in a show, it not happen in a real life, it not happen in a snow. A statement like that should only make your courage grow. And I talk me a talk, even though me love the flow. From you know your purpose in life, you will know. So if you achieve your goal, these things you have to know. Metaphysics on the earth, and that you need to know. Negative and positive can make the light show. Small like a mustard seed or big like your toe. From your plant for your dream in the earth it have to grow. That's why I know we shall make it someday. Me not stop try if me have to work Sunday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not on a yard from the week touch Monday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not stop try if me have to work Sunday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not on a yard from the week touch Monday. This is a brand new year. From you know about truck driving, you know about gear. Can't get up from there and I steer. You want steer while someone drink champagne and I sit down in a chair. Now watch a man life, you man go and drink your beer. Me a sip on some peppermint tea, me no fear. Every man is born equal, that fear and square, but equal to what you need to make yourself clear. Tell them so we'll never give up, we'll never give up. No, no. Africans will not give up, we'll not give up. No. Tell them so we'll never give up, we'll never give up. No.
shall make it someday. Me not stop try if me have to work Sunday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not on a yard for the week touch Monday. I know we shall make it someday. Me not stop try if me have to work Sunday.
That's RasMorgan. And I'll stop try.
And just radio.
You are there, and yes, another, conscious lyrics there, really just in tune with all what we, what we stand for here over at Conscious, because it is so important to wake up, keep the minds awake and share that positive message.
Yes, it's a roundedness, it's a balance, and I think the music, once you can create a balance, there's just a time when people is in the mood to just dance and be wild, and there's a time when they kind of come to a full stop like now and they want to listen what is being said, and so it goes. So if you create the music which kind of follow them through moods and phases, your message will always be there, and you keep your message. That's all. You don't have to lose your message because you're singing something which is at a different tempo. You keep your message and you go with the tempo. And as I said, it's an art. It's an art.
Talking about it's art, we're going to look at Higher Heights. And what was that? What was that about? And I get the feeling there's something to do with higher levels of consciousness. I might be wrong, but yes. Talk to us about that, please, RasMorgan.
Yes, Higher Heights is kind of, as you said, you hit the nail on the head. It's RasMorgan again, as I said, explaining myself, expressing myself, telling the ones that, listen, I'm on a higher heights, I'm on a higher level of consciousness. What I'm here to do, it's a mission, it's not a competition, it's not a game. And it was just lyrical content again flowing. But each song, this is what I discovered, each of the songs that kind of pulls something out of you as an artist. It pulls something based on the mood it catch you in. So Higher Heights is me being at my as I said, my element in higher. When I'm doing higher height, I'm in an element where I feel like maybe I could flash lightning and I could roll thunder. You just feel that element. You feel that raw power. Wow. So Higher Heights catch me when I was in that mood of element. So I was just speaking out things, speaking of things in which I have lived, what I have learned. Speaking of metaphysics, and a person said, "Ross, we're talking about metaphysics," and say, "But that's what I know in my." And Higher was just letting me a person that, when you throw something up in the air and it comes down to the ground, that gravity is also governed by the law of metaphysics. Mm-hmm. So it's like I was just opening up my cranium, and that's what Higher Heights did allow me to do. And then after doing that, later on, I realized that the beat that Higher Heights is actually on belong to someone, which we're gonna get to that later on in the story. But it kind of have a more meaningful and purposeful, reason for coming across that beat and doing that song. And it's again one of my favorite. It's just one of my favorite. When as I said, I'm in my element in that song. When I'm doing that one, I'm just in my own world. So I most of my songs, which is not all of them, I do have a great pleasure. I see myself performing it live in front of live audience, thousands, because there's something in it for me to deliver. There's an element in it for me to reach, to deliver the song. Mm-hmm. And if you ever go to a concert and you see an artist or a performer in their elements, it's something to behold. Yeah. So when you're on stage, I try to go in that realms where you're going an element where the crowd is not even in front of you no more. You don't see the crowd no more. You're just doing whatever you're doing. So It was that, and it's fun. It's, as I said, it's one of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
It's fun, you know.
Yeah, let's go. Let's let the people hear Higher Heights. So,
Okay,
do you want
so
to
you're
announce?
listening to Conscious Radio, as you know, and this is RasMorgan giving to you high heights, coming to you right here in Conscious Radio.
Dialing to the night. Twinkle high heights. Rhythm up, rhythm up. We come to take this one on higher heights. Higher, 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 higher heights. Yes, King Selassie, I inspire me to live. Somebody can come tell me not to blast the thing. We come to take this one on higher heights. Higher, 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 higher heights. Yes, Rastafari inspire me to live. Somebody can come tell me not to blast the thing. When we all rise, me see them a fall. No one my name them a call. But you me solid like the rock and Gibraltar. A me name RasMorgan, no lean on me you can't fall. Every day me knowledge gets it high. Me ego tall like the great wall. Me used to see me granny throat and corner and say RasMorgan look good. Now foul me no cause I use the limit and I hit me gone. When me know the offering me the higher the farm. Me no scare a guy, me no fear a guy. It have to really beneficial. Till me tell a lie. We come to take this one on higher heights. Higher, 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 higher heights. Yes, King Selassie, I inspire me to live. Somebody can come tell me not to blast the thing. We come to take this one on higher heights. Higher, 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 higher heights. Yes, Rastafari inspire me to live. Somebody can come tell me not to blast the thing. Me have to speak cause me have me tongue. When me I do, I hold me head a ground. Me have to look for the money, but I drive me a drive, so you can't see a money. Me a run down in a England, them spend the pound. Them say I them a will the triple crown. But me no care who I wear, what I wear, who me come for my share, so give me that. Me want that, now you want me father, you not give my dime. You try to tell me that was not crime. But if my youth them not get what them to get out of life, then you see the blasted problem. Me a talk about. We come to take this one on higher heights. Higher, 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 higher heights. Yes, King Selassie, I inspire me to live. Somebody can come tell me not to blast the thing. Me come to take this one on higher heights. Higher, 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 higher heights. Yes, Rastafari inspire me to live. Somebody can come tell me not to blast the thing. King Selassie say fi be still. So when me translate that in a Jamaican language, it means say I calm you fi calm. True you have your big gun, why me you want arm? When RasMorgan attack, me no care which dog want bark. Me just a try tell you feel love life and care life, cause some of the greatest things they come from life. We come to take this one on higher heights. Higher, 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 higher heights. Yes, King Selassie, I inspire me to live. Somebody can come tell me not to blast the thing. Me come to take this one on higher heights. Higher, 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 higher heights. Yes, Rastafari inspire me to live. Somebody can come tell me not to blast the thing.
Okay, that's Higher Heights. Hi, RasMorgan. RasMorgan. Yeah, that's a big bass there underneath that song. Wow.
The blood inside, you know.
Yes.
You know, but it was fun. It was fun doing. It was fun making, you know, and as I say, that's me in my element there, you know, but honestly, it's good, clean, purposeful music, you know. So I full joy even, you know, in creating them, and we'll keep making more in that sense, you know.
Yes, I feel, you know, listening to it, I feel the message there is, you know, you're trying to get to the higher heights in your mind, and there's all these distractions, you know, and you're having to kind of fight with that on a daily basis. And, you know, your goal is always to remain on a high plane and not down in that, you know, that lower frequency. That is very disturbing, yeah. We are going to look at Show Me Your Love. How did that song come about? And, talk us through that, please, RasMorgan.
Yeah, well, basically, that's one of the songs right now that we're promoting, because the video was released early 2009. around mid 2009, late 2019, I should say. So it'll be like around October. So that's the last quarter. So late 2019, and it's been generating a lot of followers, for basically what it's saying and the flow that it has. And just to let them know, it's a collaboration song. It's not a RasMorgan alone song. It's a collaboration where it's RasMorgan and an artist goes by the name of Petra Grant. Yes, beautiful vocalist. And originally she's from the UK. So she has that thing in her voice where when she's singing, I'm getting that. That was a beauty. So I actually worked with Petra at the award show. It was one of my first award shows in 2017, and Petra was the artist that worked after me. I was the opener. And for some reason, they always use me for show opener, because the lady comes to me and she says, RasMorgan, I know you are a very strong opener. Do you mind opening the show for me? And I wasn't planning on that. I wanted to sit back in the show and watch my brothers and sisters then do them thing and then go do my thing. Mm-hmm. But the way she come and she said, you're a very strong opener. So I couldn't deny her. I said, okay. So I opened that show, and it was beautiful because I laid out everything, and Petra was the artist that followed me, and I get to watch her. I saw her for the first time. So long story short, I had this song in my brain box, which I've been singing to myself based on what the harmony and the rhythm give me. Because how I write my song, I listen to the beat, and the beat of the song and the harmony and the melody kind of formulate my words.
Right.
So the words kind of go with what. So the beat was just telling me to show me my love, show me my love, show me, and I had that thing. But to all it was said, I needed someone else to repeat what I said. So I'm saying, show me all the love you've got, so I could show you all the love I've got for you. So I need someone else to say it to me. Show me. So it's like they have to me the same thing. So I told Petra that I have this song that I want her to sing with me. I sang her the tracks, and she could listen to it. But in her world, in everybody's world, everybody have their own unfold. Everybody have a lot of things going on in their world. So Petra had that beat in her email for 2 weeks. She didn't touch it. She didn't listen to it. She was so full. But she showed up at the studio the day of appointment saying she's ready to do the song. So I was voicing my verse. I did 3 verses. I had my verse in my head for over months. And Petra had a pencil and a paper, and she was listening to what I says. And everything I say in a verse, as I'm speaking the Jamaican part when it's flowing, and she's catching on, and she come to me and she said, what did you just say about your mom a while ago? And I explained what I said, and then I see she write it down. And if I really know, I just know that she compiling her lyrics, and each verse I do, she write it down. And when she went in, she copied what I said verse for verse and tried to answer me back. And I thought was the most excellent performance or even job or execution of work, because I had months in advance to prepare my lyrics. And she did it within a 25-30 minutes period, and she did well. She did it enough that I could say, that's it. Don't say a next word. I like it. That it was my project, and with your project, you know what you're looking for within the project. Mm-hmm. I heard it on the first cut. I didn't want a second or a third cut. I was like, give me that. That's what I want. So it's a song with a feel. She answered me back. She reacted to me, and then right now it's the number 1 song on Reverb Nation. It's been sitting there number 1 since the year start, and it's just been sitting there just doing its thing, and I give thanks for that. And it's doing well in Jamaica and CVMTV. It's there. It's been the number 1 spot on CVMTV. But everything is happening at the same time with the world being on its side, So you having to focus on that. You just let the data on the record, just keep doing the thing. But it's well received, and the people love it. The world they love it. They receive it well, and it's Petra did an excellent job. And this song, like I said, to introduce to the world, it's Petra, RasMorgan, and it's called Show Me Your Love.
Small alongside the girl Petra, so I can show you music and picture.
Show me all the love you got.
When my love hits, you'll feel no pain. Tranquilize your body and stabilize your brain. Will make you feel as you've been hit by a train. You wake up in the morning, but you'll feel no pain. So show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you. And show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you.
My love for you, baby, cannot compare to anything you have ever felt out there. Something I have for you is so sincere. You are my sweetheart and I am your dear.
So show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I've got for you. And show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you. Love you not the morning, love you not the night. Me now be wait for no special time fit right. Me always see me mother baking with a smile, and see me father sit down outside the wash time. So show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you. And show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you.
All through the day, all through the night, you give me love, hold me so tight.
That's right.
You are my husband, I am your wife. No, you were the one, love at first sight.
So show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you. And show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you. My love for you is like a burning fire, not like a fire when them burning tire, but more like the sweet sensation of the rising sun when make you feel inspired. So show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you. And show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you.
Oh baby, what am I gonna do? I love it for you, it is so true. Oh baby, what am I gonna do? I love it for you, it is so true. Oh my love, I wanna give you my love. I wanna give you my love, yeah. Oh hey, yeah, I wanna give you my love.
That's right, Petra, that's right. Show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you. Show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you. When my love hits you, feel no pain. It tranquilize your body, stabilize your brain. Will make you feel as you've been hit by a train. You wake up in the morning, but you'll feel no pain. Show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you. Show me all the love you got, so I can show you all the love I got for you. My love for you is like a burning fire, not like a fire when them burning tire, but more like the sweet sensation of the rising sun will make you feel inspired.
Oh baby, what am I gonna do? I love it for you, it is so true.
Yes.
That's RasMorgan and Petra.
It is so true.
Please show me your love. A special guest, RasMorgan. I can hear you there in the background. Yeah, like that. Nice combination there.
That was filmed in Toronto last summer. The video was made downtown Toronto. That's there on the YouTube channel. You could find it, RasMorgan Music, and you'll find RasMorgan Petra, Show Me Your Love. And it's a nice little one. And as I said, it's well received. And you'll see why it's well received,
Yeah,
so it's one of those songs that I believe is going to make headway, in time, over time.
Awesome. Yes, a very, very nice upbeat. And I love the two voices together. Really a nice combination there.
Yes.
We're going to look at Starlight, and I know you've got a story to go with that. So RasMorgan, go ahead.
Try to make it brief. Yeah, I try to make it brief. Well, Starlight, as I said, Starlight is what I'm using right now to basically anchor everything. It's the last video that I shoot in Jamaica. I was in Jamaica in early February, and we shoot this in the Halfway Tree. Yes, right in the popular Halfway Tree there, well known. So, but the story behind Starlight, this is Jaovia Records, Sing Ja Lion promotion, and I don't know where to start, but the producer, the beat of Starlight, it's a beat called Another Day, A New Day. It's a beat called A New Day, and it's the owner of this beat is a 14-year-old child from Spanish Town, wow, Jamaica, where he has his record label, which is called Jaovia Records, and he has his foundation, which is father. His dad is Respect, and his dad is also one of his artists. So this young producer of various artists, which RasMorgan is one of his artists. His dad is one of his artists, and he is also an artist. And it's just extraordinary when you get to meet him and see how he does his operation and how he does things. But I initially end up on his beat by mere chance. The beat circulate in Canada. I got the beat without knowing who it belonged to. So I created something on the beat, and I was there in Jamaica, in Spanish Town, Jamaica, at a show where he was also at that show, and we're performing. But I am performing before him. So I went on stage and I played the beat, and I did my part, and when I came off, he went on, and I'm hearing the same beat. So I'm saying, wait, oh, that coming at the thing. Oh, it's because at the same time, I was looking for the owner of the beat. I wanted to know who this beat belonged to. So now I'm like, okay, I kind of find an heritage of where the beat come from now. The beat is on. And then, all and behold, his father came and started to explain the whole thing to me and said, yes, that beat belongs to that little child. Yes, so after that, now we regroup and we talk as a group, as an artist and in our whole body, and we're promoting that song now. We're promoting that song as a beat, and I'm basically one of his artists helping him promote that song. But wow, it was just mystical how the whole thing came about, or it came to pass, and then dealing with Sing Ja Lion, that's his name. He's a little character within himself. He has a big personality. He deals business on his own. Like you call and talk to him about what is to be done or what he needs for you to be done, and it's also professional to see that he's doing that, and has created that platform for him to do that.
14 years old he is.
So I am a fan. We have a lot of work to do with him.
Wow.
But this one is called Starlight, and it's that's a song that we're pushing right now on the A New Day rhythm, and this is a Jaovia Records Sing Ja Lion promotion, and it's this one has a character about it, Imani. It's like, what I should say, I was speaking to reporters, journalists. I was speaking to reporter journalists, as in I was telling them that I am focused on what I'm doing. I'm busy doing what I'm doing. I don't want to be distracted with any non-relevant question. Don't ask me something which is not relevant to my cause or to my direction or to my gain. So I was saying, don't distract me. I see you as a distraction. So it's a funny little song. I don't know how I come by creating it, So it's called Starlight, saying that I don't want to be in your spotlight. I want to do what I'm doing without being a spotlight person. I don't want it. I don't want the spotlight. I just want to do the work that I'm supposed to do. So the song is kind of based around that, and I created this one. It's called Starlight, and it's doing great.
Man, I unite with them, man. Want them people, man. Sure. No. Bright light, starlight, shine light, Ras, no inna the high. Me no inna them excitement, me no inna them one bag of exploiting. Me bright light and and shine light. Ras, no inna the hype. Me no inna them excitement. Me no inna them one bag of exploiting. Work me a work and a chicken me a jerk. So nobody come around you come act like a jerk. Ask me question with bright camera and tell me if you smile me we get more followers. Me no come yourself you smile with people. And if you never know me, choose my people. Nobody feel you can't infiltrate me defense and running on me thing like flower and weevil. With bright light and starlight and shine light. Rust no inna the hype. Me no inna them excitement. Me no inna them one baba exploited. With bright light and starlight and shine light. Rust no inna the hype. Me no inna them excitement. Me no inna them one baba exploited. Who feels it knows it, and who knows it feels it. Feels pain on me and feel. Them a come from slavery. For me a little bit of you to go to school in a elementary. Teacher look on me and say RasMorgan, me know you know plenty. So no bother with no bright light and starlight with shine light. Ras no inna the hype. Me no inna them excitement. Me no inna them one bag of exploiting. With bright light and starlight and shine light. Ras no inna the hype. Me no inna them excitement. Me no inna them one bag of exploiting. Some of these questions reporter ask me. Some of these questions they're really fancy. Yeah. Some of these questions where they ma ask me. Some of these questions they're really fancy. Hear them now. RasMorgan, you bust on the scene and you everybody that's about. Them one know if me eat beef or if me eat goat. Real vegetarian, they love pop chow. So eat when you eat and make me grow when me grow. Some of these questions where they ma ask me. Some of these questions them are really fancy. So no bother with no bright light, starlight, shine light. Rust no inna the hype. Me no inna them excitement. Me no inna them one.
Okay, that's RasMorgan, and that's Starlight. RasMorgan.
Shine bright.
Yes. Wow. So that the producer on that song is 40, and he created that sound, that beat.
He created that beat, and he's also voicing in that song. And he's a very articulate person, and he's a very, talented individual, which I see as the future. And I like to deal with the future. So I went head on, head in, and he has a lot more other work that he's pushed. So you see that the other song that I sing, Higher Heights, also belongs to him. He's also responsible for Higher Heights also. So yeah, it's just there's something about what he does that attracts me, And those are two of his beats, those are two of my more powerful songs that I could use to rock the world, keep them moving, spread the message. Yeah, they to him. So I see that there's a connection that we'll be working together for quite a while, and then as he grow, he matures. So I'll be getting the best of him, Yeah. So to me, it's an adventure. I like it, and that's great work.
Yeah, and it's good, to see the young people, and that collaboration is very powerful because obviously, as we know, everything is always evolving, and certainly, young people coming in, they're putting their spin on things, and it's nice to kind of have that new vision that they have.
Yes, and that's just the way of the life. When you really look at it, it's just the way of the world,
Yeah.
You go on a farm, you see that farmer and he's farming, and his little kids who is there on the farm, they're going to be the next generation of farmer, and they may take over younger than you thought. They realize that's a 14-year-old farmer boy, and that's what he sees every day, and that's what his dad is doing. So he become, and then you find when the parents them realize that they let go of the wheel and let them operate. And that's what Singer Lion is doing right now. He's basically running his business that is that created. But if you need to make a change or a decision, he is the one that's gonna make it, because he's rational in his thinking to make a decision which is pure and just straightforward. So I'm like, this is real, So it's great work. It's a great thing,
Yeah. I mean, and then that's the beauty of when you bring the young in and they've got a cushioning of the the grown-ups, you get to retain the integrity of reggae music.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that's really important. And obviously the people who's, the elders or the people who's grown up, like his father, like he's working with you, you get to sort of bring that integrity that he takes on. He takes that baton and goes off into the future.
Future.
Yes.
So that's exactly, I saw it as well played. As Bob Marley always said, Bob Marley loved you that phrase, well played. When something it was just destined to happen that way. So it's well played, and I am glad that I'm in his corner, and I could be a part of, whatever movement that we're doing.
Okay. I want to ask you just one more question before we wrap up this segment, and I want you to definitely share how people can get hold of your music, how they can get in touch with you. But what does the future hold for RasMorgan? Where are you going with your wonderful work?
The future, I was on the way out there, and that's the same momentum I'm gonna keep. I want to spread the music, as I said, as far and as wide, with a meaning in Africa. I want to go from countries to countries in Africa and just rock the world, be with my people, learn from them. They could learn from me, so vice versa. So that's where I wanna move with the music, as the music as an essence and a purpose to it. So, yes, I'm creating an album right now, which should be completed early next year. Mm-hmm. If all goes well, which right now, everything is you're on the drawing board right now, trying to set things together. Yeah. So if all goes well, in early next year, I'd like to have my album. So that will be my tool, my weapon to go out there and say, yes, I could give you 2.5 hours of rock steady reggae music. Are you ready for this? So that's the type of vibes I want to create,
And how can people get hold of you and your music now?
Yes, right now the music is there on social media as it's taken RasMorgan, but on Facebook, it's RasMorgan Reggae. RasMorgan Reggae, and you find me there on Facebook, and on Instagram, it's RasMorgan Music, and you'll find me there. But my website, where most of the purchase take place, is Reverb Nation. Yeah, for all the artists out there, about Reverb Nation. So I'm a Reverb Nation member, and they do distribution for me also. So reverbnation.com/RasMorgan. So your reverbnation.com, you put the /RasMorgan, there's a web page. So you could find a bio, you could find everything about RasMorgan right in that spot.
That's awesome. RasMorgan, thank you for taking time out to be with us today. Thank you for bringing your wonderful, thought-provoking music, and we look forward to having you back on again. And I know you've got, So
just want to use a brief second to big up the ones who helped to make this possible. I'd like to big up Lady Bosch Production, because they're responsible for organizing this meet and greet.
Yes.
I'd like to big up Jaoda Records, Singer Lion, for harming me with such great tools and material. I'd like to also big up Conscious Radio, yes, Imani, for having me on this platform. And walk good, be good, and when we meet again, we'll greet again. Take care.